the areas where cereals are dominating. So my organization SLUF, we are promoting this GEDIO practice from around this area to the highlands of the two escarpments. So what does the land use system of the highlands look like? As you see, it is monoculture, it is cereals. So the land is really totally, as opposed to the indigenous agroforestry area of GEDIO, this one is totally exposed and the land is highly degraded. And apart from the monoculture system, the cultivation, the traditional practices of draining water also is exposing the land for land degradation. As you see, this is a teff field, a very popular crop in Ethiopia. Farmers want to drain the water out of the teff field, and by so doing, they are exposing it to degradation. This is a typical farm in the highlands. As you see, this is the cereal-based farming system. It's maize and sorghum, and cattle have nothing to really browse, and the border of the field is not really protected by forests, so you can see the big gullies formed due to high rainfall aggravated by climate change. And look at the gullies which are being formed. This used to be one of the fertile part of the country, but where it is really turning into a degraded land. And this is the major highway passing from the capital Addis to one of the northern city to Mekelle. In one shower in the mountain of this place, just one shower has really broken the road into two pieces. So in 100 kilometers, you will find this road being broken about 10 times. That was in 2010. So we are promoting indigenous agroforestry practices to these areas. How do we do that? In hillsides, which are totally, we are following two approaches. One is in the hillsides, and the other is on farmlands. If it is a hillside which is highly degraded, we promote area enclosure, and we do enrichment planting from GEDIO indigenous agroforestry system. If it is a farmland, then we really promote the package as it is. So this is a highly degraded hillside. The first thing we do is to really do community conversation to really help farmers appreciate their problems, to realize their problems. And once they discussed all their problems through their community conversations, then we try to convince them really to do physical structure activities to capture rainwater. And in the third phase, as you see here, after the physical conservation activities, after we capture the water, then we close the area for certain periods. So you will find an area like this, which is restoring. So here you can see the northern highland farmers, they are using the degraded highlands, which was barren totally, to really use it for different agricultural practices. But in the farmlands, because it is highly fertile and it is possible to promote the package as it is, this is the approach we are really following. We are planting very deep-rooted grass species like vetiver to really help the soil capture the scarce rainfall, and we support it by leguminous plants and insect and coffee species brought from the south. So the plan is from that degraded part of the country to change it into this type of farming system, and finally to arrive at this intensive ecological type of farming. What are the challenges in promoting the indigenous agroforestry practice? From policy perspective, as I said, although I heard actually from Sue this morning that this evening that African Union has decided to promote ecological agriculture. That is a good news. But in our agriculture policy, always the challenge is that indigenous agroforestry practice or agroforestry practices, ecological agriculture, they are challenged by policy saying that it's not really addressing a problem of food security because it is unproductive. That is the criticism. From community perspective, there are cultural barriers. For example, I said insect is a water tanker, is the major element of the agroforestry system, but in the northern highlands, people are not consuming it for food. So there is that challenge and barrier, but as a way forward, what we recommend is we have to really engage into a constructive policy dialogue, both with researchers, extension agents who have to really try to push this technology, and we need also research input. The elements of the biodiversity could really be enhanced, could be improved if there is research input. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Abate, for highlighting another important yet often ignored aspect of agrobiodiversity, which is the role of agroforestry. Surprisingly, in the morning's presentation at the plenary, the Environment Minister from Costa Rica mentioned how the forest cover of Costa Rica from 75% to in 1940 came down to 21% in 1991, and then went up to 52% in 2010. And this was achieved by incentivizing agroforestry. So I guess that's something to learn from that experience, and hopefully policymakers would realize that agroforestry does play a role in food security. At least that's what the Environmental Minister from Costa Rica mentioned in the morning. Thank you once again, and with this we go to the last speaker for this evening, and that is Paulo Peterson. He wears many hats actually. He is the director of ASPTA, and he is also the president of Brazilian Agroecological Association. And he would be speaking about upscaling positive results with the use of agriculture biodiversity in Brazil, with the government taking the lead. Over to you, Paulo.
Thank you. First of all, I permitted a small change in the title because unfortunately, our government doesn't take the lead in this issue. So the experience in Brazil are mainly led by civil society organizations, and we are dealing with our government to how to build good seed policies or agrobiodiversity policies, and I will explain how we are doing this kind of work here. And we can put my. It's not there. Oh, yeah. No, it's not there. No. Sorry. Well, I will show the experience. It's I chose a specific experience from the semi-arid region in Brazil, and specifically in Paraíba state, that we have a very strong experience for the last 20 years. I need, no, it's not here. I think it's here. Yeah. Sorry. What happens?
So you want to talk about, you have to show.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. We can see the ratings. Okay. We see the photos. First of all, we are based on the traditional practice for access and conservation of agrobiodiversity. We totally agree with our colleagues in this table that we need an ecological intensification. This means intensification without simplification. This means using of agriculture based on photosynthetic process, based on biomass, based on nutrient recycling. So this is the image of the traditional practice in the semi-arid. Polycultures, using of local seeds, the use of familiar stocks of seeds, and they share seeds, they share knowledge about their seeds. So there is familiar strategies and communitarian strategies and collective strategies to maintain, to keep their seeds. Communitarian seed banks. This is another kind of experience that is very spread in the semi-arid region. This is very, very common. It's omnipresence, but absolutely invisible for the conventional perspective, scientific perspective, because they say that it's not seed, that the farmers work with grains. It's not seed, because grains is to eat, seed is to plant. So, seed for Brazilian law is, we have many rules to define what is a seed. So, if we want some help or some public policies, we have to follow all these rules. So this is we start in the agroecological perspective. We have to understand the traditional way of reproduce their livelihoods, understand these strategies, and develop these strategies, put together the scientific perspective of agroecology. These photos are from 1993 or 94. It's like an appraisal of agrobiodiversity in Paraíba. It's a small region in Paraíba. And one name it's there, seeds of passion. It's a name of the farmer's name. It's seeds. It's our passion seeds. It's like local seeds. And we identified in a small region 220 local varieties. As Andrew showed, it's the same experience. During a very, very hard draw in 1998 and 1999, people did a political mobilization to fight for a seed program in Paraíba. And they start to debate the relationship between our traditional practice and the political. Why you government are distributed seeds from the commercial seeds for us? Because we have our seeds. We don't need your seed. We need another kind of help. We need you that you reinforce our seed banks, for example. But we want you that we reinforce our seed bank with our seeds, not for seed from Monsanto or other commercial enterprises. So this process of mobilization, they create a law in Paraíba, a specific law, to reinforce a program of seed banks, at a network of seed banks in the state. And here we see an unconventional way of seed program, distribute one variety or two varieties of grain of maize. In the opposite, in alternative seed program, we defend we have to not one seed, but we have to stimulate people to produce their seed. You can buy the seeds and develop for the seed banks. So we build a network in the state from 350 seed banks. And these people in semi-urban alliance, they start to make their seed of patient festivities, seed with affairs. We combine exchange of knowledge with the debate policy issues, and they make their festivity. 2004, 2005, storage and diversity, and 2006, there are debates and festivity. 2007, and there is a movement with thousands. To understand that we need to reinforce the seed as the basis of our autonomy. If we lost our seeds, we lost all chain of autonomy, because if we plant commercial seeds, we will need fertilizer, chemical fertilizer, we will need pesticides, because this kind of commercial seeds are prepared to depend on agrochemicals. So, in the beginning of Lula's government, they start a very important program, the acquisition food program. And this program understands that seed is a very important element for food security. So, the first time the state recognized farmers' seeds as seeds. So, some challenge for building seeds policies. First of all, this question, seed or grain? This is very difficult, because now, in the beginning of Dilma Rousseff government, she launched a very important program named Brazil Without Misery, oriented to the poor people, mainly in the countryside. And one of the programs of this initiative is distribution of seeds, and distribution of commercial seeds, and distribution either if developed by official research institutions, but are not the local seeds. So we start again and people from this institution said, you don't have seeds, you have grain. Again, we have, at national level, we have to start again, because in Paraíba we have a law, but in national level. So we did, for the last 3 years, a participatory research to evaluation and selection of traditional varieties of maize. with Embrapa. Embrapa is the National Agricultural Research Institution, with a lot of universities and NGOs like mine, ASPT. And the idea is exactly how to compare local seeds, the patient seeds, with the seeds that the government is distribution through Brazil without misery program. And these tests are done by agroecological management because people don't have money to use chemical fertilizer. We have to test to compare commercial seeds and local seeds with the farmers' management, not for one kind of management that they will not use. So this is very important because people are using. So the second question, there are a lot of indicators that farmers use to valorize their genetic resources, not only productivity. And people who develop commercial seeds only see in a productivity perspective, and they want to know the color of the grain, the taste of the dish, and many. There are 20 indicators, and farmers together research and quantitative evaluations also. For example, people use not the grains, but they use the biomass to feed cows, to feed animals. So, for the commercial seeds are developed to produce grains, and as in a perspective that produce more grains for more yields for hectare. So in a context of climate change, in semi-arid regions, it's so common that we don't produce grains, but we need the biomass to feed our cows. So this flexibility is needed in this kind of genetic materials. And here we see the results. The red ones are the seeds distributed for the government, and the blue ones are the local seeds. In a region, it's a median average in the 3 years, and other region, different regions. We see here we are talking about the same language, productivity, but there is other indicators that the local seeds show their value. So this is the answer. The miracle varieties of Green Revolution are prepared to good environmental conditions to answer to use of pesticide and chemical fertilizers. And the local varieties, they have more ecological plasticity. So in this condition, is the conditions of farmers, they have the better results. So now, to finish, national program on agrobiodiversity. We are dealing exactly in this moment in Rio +20 this idea with Dilma Rousseff government that we want to launch during People Summits a national program of agroecology and organic production. And one of the programs is a national program of agrobiodiversity. It's very, very important to reinforce our and upscale this kind of debates. But the resistance of the conventional researchers are so very, very hard. So we are in this moment. We have a lot of experience in Brazil, and there is scientific results. There is empirical results. People want, but we have many resistance to start and to institutionalize this kind of program. Thank you.